This commander right here, Alexander Nevsky, is absolutely game-changing in Rise of Kingdoms. In this video, we're going to talk about everything we know about him so far and how you can get the best use out of him. So stick around. What's up everybody, Psych out here with another Rise of Kingdoms video. Alexander Nevsky has entered Rise of Kingdoms, and as expected, he is totally game changing. He's got 5 skills that work in just about every single scenario. They work in the open field, they work in the garrison even, and they work in rallies. And because of that, and the skills are just really good, he is immediately becoming the meta commander, perhaps even the best commander in the game right now. There's been a host of videos about him out there. I'm going to sort of summarize what those are. But first, we need to talk about how we get Nevsky. You can get Nevsky from the wheel. And as you can see, I've already expertised him, but I went ahead and recorded all of my wheel spins, so you can check out all of my wheel spins here. I'll throw in a little music, I'll speed up the video a little bit, and you can check it out, and I'll see you on the other side.
Stand up, don't drown in the dust. The land of the sand one's a prize on your hand. Hold tight, don't lose your way, chasing for the glory to the end. Don't run, be the one, bring all your dreams to the glorious kingdom. Are you hearing the voice of Seth call your name? Lost in the storm, hold your face and sword. Go fight a secret, I win this war. We rise up higher, reach for the sky. Hold on to your weapons with pride. We rise up higher, conquer the ark, get ready to fight for your life. We rise up, climb on, choose the highest ground of the pyramid of life. Let the spirit get you high, 'cause we are the kings, we are the queens. We will rise up to the top. Stand up, don't drown in the dust. The land of the sand knows the answer in your head. Hold tight, it's worth the try, chasing for the glory in the fight. Don't run, you're the one, bring all your dreams to the glorious kingdom. Are you hearing the voice of Seth call your name? Lost in the storm, hold your face and sword. Go fight a secret, I win this war. We rise up higher, reach for the sky. Hold on to your weapons with pride. We rise up higher, conquer the ark, get ready to fight for your life. We rise up, climb on, choose the highest ground of the pyramid of life. Let the spirit get you high, 'cause we are the kings, we are the queens. We will rise up to the top. Even when you fall, sticks and stones may break your bones, but you are stronger than the heaviest waves. The earthquake won't shake you, 'cause you are the king, you are the queen, you are the truth of the land. You rise up higher, reach for the sky. Hold on to your weapons with pride. You rise up higher, conquer the ark, get ready to fight for your life. You rise up, climb to the highest ground of the pyramid of life. Let the spirit get you high, 'cause you are the king, you are the queen. You will rise up to the top. Stand up, don't drown in the dust. The land of the sand one's a prize on your hand. Hold tight, Don't lose your way, chasing for the glory to the end. Don't run, be the one. Bring all your dreams to the glorious kingdom. Are you hearing the voice of Seth call your name? Lost in the storm, hold your face and sword. Go fight a secret eye when this war will rise up higher. Reach for the sky, hold on to your weapons with pride. We rise up higher, conquer the ark, get ready to fight for your life. We rise up, climb on, choose the highest ground of the pyramid of life. Let the spirit get you high, 'cause we are the kings, we are the queens. We will rise up to the top. Stand up, don't draw in the dust. The land of the sand knows the answer in your head. Hold tight, it's worth the try. Chasing for the glory in the fight. Don't run, you're the one. Bring all your dreams to the glorious kingdom. Are you hearing the voice of Seth call your name? Lost in the storm, hold your face and sword. Go fight a secret eye when this war will rise up higher.
All right, here we are. We have expertised our Nevsky. Hopefully you enjoyed that a little bit. Look, as I mentioned, he's got 5 skills that are just outrageous. So I'm just going to review them really quickly. First skill, big skill damage factor. Most importantly, when you surround an enemy, you can reduce their defense by either 30% or 45%. If you've got 2 marches on him, the defense will be reduced by 30%. 3 marches, it will be reduced by 45%. That's really good. That's really key when using Nevsky. That means you want to use him in a murder ball. You want to have multiple marches hitting a target because you're going to be reducing that defense. That's really strong. He gets an astonishing 40% of stats here. We get attack bonus, we get health bonus, two really strong stats, obviously health being the best one, but we also get 20% march speed on cavalry, which is just really good. And then over here, we get another 20% of stats. So we're getting 60% of stats with Nevsky plus 20% march speed. We're also getting 10% damage bonus to, again, targets that are surrounded. Again, murder ball, you want Nevsky and multiple marches hitting a target to get that extra 10% damage bonus. And that target does 5% less damage to you. Actually, it's surrounded targets. So if your teammates are surrounding other targets, even those targets should be doing less damage to you as well. So that's really pretty cool, taking less damage from surrounded targets. So it's all about surrounding with Nevsky. 4 skill, everybody's talking about this. We get 25% skill damage just across the board, and we get an extra 35% triggered bonus damage whenever an active skill is used. Now, there was some confusion about how this would be used, how this would actually work. I thought it would work the way that it actually does work, which means that in almost every case, there's maybe one exception with XY as a primary, and I won't really get into that, but for the overwhelming majority of the time, what's going to happen is the primary commander will trigger their first skill, and 2 seconds later, when that skill triggers, when that skill procs, the skill damage, this extra 35% skill damage will go into effect. 2 seconds later, your secondary commander will use their skill, and there's a 3-second more cooldown on that, and then this can be triggered again. So basically, whoever is your secondary commander will be the one benefiting from this 35% skill damage. So if Nevsky is your primary, whoever is your secondary will get the bonus. And if Nevsky is your secondary, it will be Nevsky himself who's getting the bonus on that really powerful first skill. And then finally on the 5th skill, we've got another, just a totally new skill here. Dealing 5% increased normal attack damage and gaining some more, a chance to gain some more health. Just again, a really another great skill for Nevsky. So this is why he is so good in so many different situations. So let's talk about how we can use Nevsky, and let's start by talking about the talents, what talents you might use if you want to use Nevsky as a primary. Now, there's been a lot of testing on him. We've seen Nevsky with all kinds of commanders. Actually, let me talk about that first before I get into the talents. We've seen Nevsky with XY, which I think is a really natural pair. We've seen him with Saladin. We've seen him with Chandra Gupta. You can check out Wit Gaming. You can check out Fleisch. They've talked about how Nevsky can be used with these commanders, and he's just really, really strong. In 1v1s, Nevsky wins, right? If you have Nevsky versus anything, Nevsky just wins. It's just, that's all there is to it. It's really simple. And the funny thing is, because of that surround bonus, he actually does better when you are attacking more marches, right? So when there's more marches attacking you, he even does better in sort of murder ball situations. So just really, really strong commander in that regard. You compare him with a whole bunch of people. But what talents would you use? If you're going to use Nevsky as a primary, what talents should you go with? Now, I've seen a lot of content creators going all the way out here, maxing Feral Nature. You guys know I have a, if you've been here for a little while, you know I have a rage simulator. I'll put a card at the top where I show you the rage simulation results for XY and why I've chosen the talent build that I've chosen for him. I did something very similar here with Nevsky. I ran 24 different talent builds with all kinds of rage combinations in there. And the results were that you just can't get good use out of Feral Nature. There's just really no good way to get a lot of value out of Feral Nature with Nevsky. Strongly recommend not going up to Feral Nature with Nevsky. A couple of different builds though that I would recommend. One build is to go all the way out here to Clarity. That means your secondary commander is going to be getting 6% skill damage, which is really nice. Again, on top of that 35% extra that Nevsky is giving, you get a lot of skill damage out of your secondary commander if you go to Clarity. If you go to Clarity, that will give you enough points to get up here and get Emblazoned Shield. You are absolutely going to want to go out here and get Undying Fury. It will also give you enough points to get Disarm. And then you'll have one extra point, which you should put here for this cavalry health. And that's really all you can do. You can't go any further into the cav tree. Disarm isn't really that great of a talent, but these are really your best choices if you decide to go out there for Clarity. Now, the alternative option is to go all the way to the top of the cav tree and grab Rallying Cry. One of the really neat things about Nevsky with XY as a secondary commander is that you will almost certainly fire your first skill off before that 10-second window is over. So you're going to be doing an extra, I think it's an extra 15% all damage on that first skill from Nevsky, which is really, really strong. So this is, I think, is a really, really nice build. You're going to get all the points you can in the cavalry tree, and then you're going to grab these skills. Of course, you're going to go all out here to Rejuvenate, but you're also going to grab Tactical Mastery. You're also going to grab Heraldic Shield down here. Now the question is, and you're also going to have a point that you can put here for this cavalry health. You have 3 points left. Your only choices are to do something like this. You get nothing out of latent power, so you can go over here and grab some of these stats if you want, or you can also go up here to get Equestrian Excellence. Not a talent I would normally recommend, but if you do have XY secondary, keep in mind that when XY is getting hit, he has a dramatic reduction in march speed. So this can actually help counteract that a little bit by having Equestrian Excellence. So you might think about doing Equestrian Excellence if Nevsky is your primary. But that really leads us to a big question. Should Nevsky be the primary? And again, I've got this rage simulator. I did a bunch of analyses looking at what happens if Nevsky's primary, looking at what happened if XY is primary, because I think really that is the ultimate pair. Maybe for rallies, Chandra Nevsky is better, maybe, but I think in the open field, it's XY Nevsky. It just seems like really that is the way to go. That is the best pair for Nevsky. And in my analysis, there's really 3 critical factors to look at when comparing who should be primary, XY or Nevsky. So obviously with XY, we get a reduction in the rage requirement on his first skill. It's down to 900, plus if you've got expertise or if you've got this 4th skill maxed, it's down to 850. So that is a very fast skill cycle. Now, if we have the Horn of Fury, which again, I really recommend for this march, one of the things that I found out in doing this analysis is that you are going to be doing a lot more skill damage, in particular because you're going to be cycling faster. You're going to fire your first skill quite a bit faster with XY as the primary. And in addition, every 60 seconds or every minute of battle, you're going to be doing 2 more active skills. That is, you're going to be firing XY skill and Nevsky skill 1 more time each during that battle. So to me, given the amount of skill damage that XY and Nevsky do, that is really worth going for. I really think that's a pretty big benefit to having XY first. You're going to get 16 skill totals if you have Nevsky primary, whereas you'll get 18 in 1 minute if XY is your primary. I recommend going XY primary partly because of that. But there's another reason to go with XY primary, and that has to do with the talents. I already mentioned that Nevsky has the versatility build. just really the versatility tree. There's just really nothing you can do there. With XY, you can go down here and get Buckler's Shield out of the conquering tree, which again, I really recommend. Again, the previous video that I mentioned earlier, I show why we don't go out here, why this is the sort of the optimal build for XY. I show why we don't go out to get Feral Nature. Buckler's Shield is really good, 9% counterattack damage reduction. So when the enemy is not targeting us, that's 9% less white damage we're going to be taking. And if the enemy is targeting us, if we're in a sort of 1v1 situation, that's about 4.5% typically white damage we're going to be taking less. So this is a really good talent. XY has it, Nevsky doesn't. That's another reason to prefer XY. So we've got two reasons to prefer XY. One, we get to fire our skills off more often and we do a lot of skill damage. Number two, we get Buckler Shield. Now there is one argument for having Nevsky primary, and that has to do with the fact that XY does area of effect damage on his first skill, whereas Nevsky does not. And when we combine that with the fact that whoever is the secondary will get that skill damage boost, you might think, I want XY to get that skill damage boost because his skill damage is area of effect. And so there's a really good case to be made for using XY as the secondary commander there. So two reasons to go with XY as the primary, one reason to go with Nevsky as the primary. The great philosopher Meatloaf, rest in peace, once said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, so I'll go with XY as the primary until proven that Nevsky really is the better primary commander. Now, there's another way we can actually test this. You can go to the campaign mode, and I'm not going to level Nevsky up to level 6 to test this, but you can go to something like Expedition. This is actually quite a nice area to do it. You can do something like go to one of these where there's multiple marches. So here's one where there's multiple marches, and I've got XY as the primary, I've got Nevsky as the secondary, and all I'm going to do is just march out here and attack. And what I can do is repeat this a few times. So if I do this 5-10 times, I can keep track of how many troops I have at the end of this battle. Now you want to treat it like a sort of an actual battle. You want to be paying attention and attacking a new march once that march gets deleted, and that will be here pretty quickly. And again, the key thing here is to keep track of how many troops you have, to run this a few times. That should be the end of that one. There we go. Because there's a lot of RNG. There's a lot of RNG involved in my opponent's marches. There's a lot of RNG involved in my march, and so you're going to need to run it 5, maybe 10 times just to see how many troops you have left on each of those runs. Let's go up to the Sun Tzu up top. Some very questionable pairs here. We've got Sun Tzu with Kusunoki, and we've got Caesar behind a double C over here. But that's not really the point. The point is to understand what happens when we have XY as the primary versus when we have Nevsky as the primary. So again, I could run this again. I'm going to keep track. I'm going to pay close attention here to how many troops I have left at the end. 185,084. I'm going to write that number down, and we can do that 5 or 10 times, and we just keep doing it like this. Then you do it again, but switch the commanders. You can switch who's the primary. You put Nevsky as the primary, XY as the secondary. Make sure you switch your gear over to the primary commander as well. And if you run that 5 or 10 times, you can compare the total results, and that might give you a feel for how this is actually going to perform in a sort of large group fight kind of situation. So that would be one way to kind of test it, that's sort of free, as opposed to doing some dueling in group fights, or maybe spending to go to Ark of Osiris, spending some gems to start an Ark of Osiris battle, which of course you can test it there as well. But I think that this is one way that it could be tested. Again, I'm not going to take Nevsky to level 60 to do this. If at some point it becomes clear that Nevsky as a primary is really important, then I will take Nevsky to level 60, and then I will try out these kind of tests. But really, that's it. I want to say one more thing about Nevsky and how you need to use him. Because of that surround bonus, you do want him to be in a murder ball. I might have some canyon matches, and if I do, I'll throw some canyon matches up here where you can watch, where I'm going into the off lane and really using all 4 of my marches, including Nevsky, in that march to surround a single march, because that's what you want to do. You don't want to go head to head with an enemy in those sort of canyon matches, because all right, let's keep going up the chain. Let's see if we can beat Pink Dolphin, who I think also is using Nevsky now at my suggestion, although maybe he didn't put him in for his defense. We'll find out here in a moment. Let's take a look and see. I don't think I ever beat Pink Dolphin in this game mode. Okay, so he does have a Saladin with Ethelfled. He does not have Nevsky. He doesn't have XY or Nevsky in his lineup. It's just kind of interesting. But just very strong marches, very strong equipment. Man, look how strong that Richard of his is. What is that? It's Richard with Mulan. Oh, I think he has an expertise Mulan as well. So very tanky. Okay, so he's a little bit ahead of me there, and his Constantine is also expertise, which means it's going to get a freaking massive heal compared to mine. Yeah, he does. Oh, he also has a Tamiris that's nearly expertise. So, and it has the 4th skill maxed, and mine does not. So that's also bad news for me. This is just going to be too hard, even with the expertise Nevsky to win this fight, I'm afraid, for me. Can never kill that Constantine. Good Lord. Okay. And now what are we targeting? Oh my gosh, we're targeting the Saladin next. Yeah, this is a definite loss. If we had maybe targeted the YSG, we'd have a chance, but that's just a beating. And so we'll see how strong he gets when he gets Nevsky into that lineup. That's I think it's a pretty big mistake not to have him in there. So let's challenge the number 4 person here. Again, we'll move our people accordingly, and we'll see how it goes. And in the offline here, it looks like a Charles Martel with an Ethelflaed. The other thing is I don't know how many people have the relics. I do have a relic on my YSG. I don't have a relic. Oh, I do have the relic on Ethelflaed as well, but I don't have it on anybody else yet. So that's probably also going to make a difference in terms of how some of these marches perform. Okay, let's see. I feel like everybody's Constantine is better than mine. I don't know why. When we get to this part of the fight, my Constantine seems to be not doing nearly as well as their Constantines are. Yeah, and now the problem is now my YSG is targeted. Oh, let's see. Oh, he does have Nevsky. He's got XY Nevsky, so that's part of the deal here. I think that XY Nevsky is just way too good, and you can see why. I don't know if his is expertised, but it is doing a lot of damage. He may have an expertised XY as well, which I don't. So yeah. Easily crushed. All right, let's see here. Let's face. Oh, I guess I'm out of free challenges. I'll save. Well, let's just do one. Let's do one here, and then we'll call that the end of this video. Okay, this is gonna be fine, I guess. Let's just do it. Okay, and he's got the very tanky Richard Charles offlane. I was running this one for a while, but it seems like I've had a little more success going with Richard Ethelflaed in the offlane. I'm not really sure why. You would think the Charles would be tankier, but I guess the AoE and the AoE debuff does a little more help. That health debuff that Ethelflaed gives off. So. All right, now let's see here. Whose Constantine dies first? Mine or his? It seems to be in all of these fights, if my Constantine lasts longer, then I win. If my Constantine dies first, I lose. So we did get that Constantine, and now we're on the Ethelflaed YSG. And once that goes down, I think that's going to be lights out here. Next is the Guan. Does have a Saladin William, which is pretty tanky, apparently, still hanging in there, but with 3 marches surrounding it, I don't think it has much of a chance of survival here. Yeah, and there you can see when those stacks get up and XY and Nevsky hit their skill damage, it's just those marches get deleted. So, okay, so anyway, that's a little bit of what we know about Nevsky so far. I think he's an absolute game-breaking commander. I think he can be used in rallies. He definitely can be used in the open field. Very few commanders have 5 skills that can just be used in so many situations, particularly in the open field alone. But also, I think he can even be used in garrison, probably with Jadwiga. More testing's got to be done on that, but that's what we know so far. I think everybody should be getting Nevsky. I think just like I would recommend about YSG, I think everybody should get YSG. I think everybody should get Alex. I think everybody should get Guan. And I think now everybody should get Nevsky. I'm tempted to put XY in that category as well, but Nevsky is definitely the one to get. So go get him, expertise him as fast as you can. That's it for this video. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next one.